Alright, welcome to the Faizal Comedy Hour. It's going to be a stand-up special, but more like a sit-down special, because I'm not going to bother standing up for this, alright? Alright, glad to be here. I know it's nighttime, so I gotta ask you guys if you can see me. Now I hang out with my Chinese friends, and every time it's at night, they'll ask, "Hey, Faizal, where are you, Cannot see you, And then I reply, "How about you try opening your eyes?" Yeah, as you can see, I'm brown. You know, my parents are both half Indian, so I come out full Indian. Hey, you know what? I didn't even write that line. I usually just say the first part. I'll just say, my parents are both half Indian, and then every time the other person would say, "So you come out full Indian?" And I'm like, yeah, you naughty, are you? You're teasing me, are you? So I decided just beat them to the punch and say it before they have a chance to. But it's okay. There's nothing wrong with being brown, looking like this. Unless you go overseas. Then maybe you might have a few problems there. So I went to the USA. Great country, right? Great country. The greatest country in the world. And it is great. For gaining weight. You know, soda is cheaper than water over there. You guys like Ben & Jerry's ice cream? It's only $2 per tub. They sell frosted cereal in bags the size of a small child. Alright, you see someone walking with a big bag like that, you'd think a kidnapping just happened. No, officer, it's not a child. It's breakfast. Kids would be eating their own body weight in sugar. Just nom, 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 nom. Of course they're gonna be round. If you ate that many Fruit Loops, you'd look like one too. Alright? So let me tell you my airport story in the US. I was there with my friends, and we were all getting our bags from the thing that goes round and round. You know? They all got their bags earlier for some reason, and mine was left behind. I think it had something against me, you know, because I make all those round jokes. Karma's a bitch. So as we were walking out, I noticed a bunch of army guys in front of me, and just one soldier behind me. And I thought, you know, he's probably been through some shit, probably seen like his buddies get their limbs blown off. So I let him go ahead. I told him, yeah, you go join your buddies, right? I thought it'd be good karma. I'm just being nice, right? Do good things to people, good things happen to you. That's how it works, right? Nope. Because from the security's point of view, what they would see is green, 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 brown. Wee-oo. So security pulls me aside and asks to see my passport. I show it to him and I said, is there anything wrong? Then he says, no. We're just looking for someone who looks like you and has a similar name. I'm like, similar name? My first name is Muhammad, the most common name in the world. And then someone who looks like you, well, I'm the only brown guy here. Gee, you really narrowed it down, huh? What are the odds? A brown guy named Muhammad. But I complied. I gave him all my papers, even my Facebook and Instagram. I just wanted to get this over with ASAP. Alright? I'm not a dangerous guy. I'm not like that fucking Ahmed guy from Texas who brought a clock to school that had a bunch of wires and circuitry around it. The most technologically advanced thing I had was my shitty Android phone with no data plan. I couldn't call any of my terrorist buddies. Hamut, it is time. Dude, I couldn't even call for an Uber. I was like, damn man, how long is this gonna take? You know how long it took? 2 hours! All this time, I have a chartered bus that's scheduled to leave soon. And I got no way to contact it. No data plan, remember? I barely set foot in the airport, and I already got hassled. And I was seriously considering, you know, should I make a run for it? And I was close. But I thought, you know, if I do this, it's going to be a brand new adventure. It'll be a one-way trip to Guantanamo Bay. Yeah, I saw the Harold and Kumar movies. I didn't want any of that shit. You know, I'd end up in a pile of naked guys wearing black hoods while some prison guard lady gives me the thumbs up. And I'd be in the pile going like, hey man, can you move your leg? The guy above me will go, that is not my leg. I'd be like, ah! Freeze frame. Camera zooms in while 80s music plays. Da, da, da. Yup, that's me. You're probably wondering how I got myself in this situation. Da, 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 da. Out here in the fields, bah, bah, I fight for my meals. So I'm trying to control myself, right? I'm trying my best to remain as calm as possible. I just looked around and I saw this Asian guy also getting hassled by another officer. But the Asian guy had a huge bag, so the officer was rightfully asking, what's going on in there? And the Asian guy said it was some special stove for a cooking competition or something. And the officer, a true professional, ever so gently, flipped the entire bag over, and all of its pieces just clinked and clanged over the counter. And just then 3 Chinese guys turned around and said, "Yes, did somebody call my name? I'm Zhou Chongqing. Zhou Chongqing is here. Zhou Chongqing is me." Here's a tip for you guys. If you ever have trouble pronouncing a Chinese guy's name, just take something large and metal and just throw it to the ground as hard as you can. That sounds about right. Anyway, I could see the look of horror on this poor Asian guy's face. It was like he was saying, "Oh no, you broke it. But I can't say anything because this is America. You got a gun there. You got a taser there." And the officer turned to him and said, "Well, you should have packed it better." And the guy's just stunned, looking at his broken dreams. Like Joe Biden at a debate. Oh. So I gotta admit, watching that whole ordeal kinda calmed me down. Because as shitty as my situation was, at least I don't have it as bad as this guy. I was just chilling. Just chilling. It's not so bad. And after a while, the guard finally let me go. And I was like, thank God. God is great. Unfortunately, I didn't say that in English, though. I said it in Arabic. And for those who don't know, what that translates to is, Allahu Akbar! Can you imagine a brown guy like me in an American airport, all alone, going, Allahu Akbar! And the guy was like, hey, you, come back here. And I was like, damn it, so close. Just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in. Yeah, I can't even blame him too much, because I might have had a hand as to why they were looking for me. Maybe me specifically, too. Because a month before, I was applying for my visa at the US Embassy. The counter staff was friendly. She was making small talk with me while filing my documents. And she asked me if it was my first time flying, and I said, yes, it is. And that's where I should have stopped talking. But I wanted to be friendly. I wanted to make small talk too. Reciprocity. So I added a little caveat, a little footnote. And I said, yes, it is. Hopefully not the last time. And as soon as those words left my mouth, I was like, shit. I shouldn't have said that. She's looking at me funny now. And she was like, okay. Writing something down. Watch out for this guy. The implications. Not so good. And my friends, they got their passports on the day itself. But mine got randomly selected to be held back for more in-depth review. Damn it, dude. I'm too friendly for my own good. Here's a fun fact about the Zhou Chongqing. Years ago, I offended someone, because I said he looked like a certain guy in an advertisement that was in Singapore. There's basically this Chinese guy who wanted to represent all the 4 races, Chinese, Indian, Malay, and white, I guess. Right? He wanted to play different roles. I guess the media company didn't want to spend money to get 4 different people, so they just put this guy in brown face. And you know what? This guy, one of my buddies, he posted on Facebook, is like, people are too sensitive, man. This isn't offensive. It's just a guy, dressed up in brown paint. It's not so bad. And you know what? I said, yeah, I agree. I wasn't trying to be an asshole or anything. I genuinely agree. It's like, yeah, it's not such a big deal, dude. I mean, there are some people who look like that. There are some people who look Chinese with brown skin. Like the guy who posted that. So I said, yeah, I mean, he just looks like you. And then he commented, what do you mean? It's like, well, you look like a Chinese guy in brown face. For some reason, that kind of triggered him, you know? And the funniest part about all of this was this actor. His name was Zhou Chongqing. Zhou Chongqing! Zhou Chongqing! You know who told me that? My Korean ex-girlfriend. Yeah, it turns out the Koreans and the Chinese don't really like each other that much. You know, or at least the Koreans don't really like the Chinese. I don't know. This is just my anecdotal experience. You know what else she told me? She told me Chinese people are the most hated in the CCC. And I asked her, what's CCC? And she said with the utmost confidence, Ching Chong Community. God, I miss her. You know, every night I pray to God for another racist queen. It's not so much that I like racism. It's just the fact that she's not so serious. She can make jokes. You know, and in this multicultural country, I think it's important to be able to laugh at race. Can't be too serious all the time. I mean, I joke a lot, but I'm not racist, okay? I like all races, alright? I've dated every race, you know? But it's just hard to find Malay girls. It's hard to find Indian girls, because, you know, we're only like 30% of the people here. Statistically, it would make more sense for me to date Chinese girls. Just is what it is. You know? It's like the places I hang out with, not a lot of Malay girls either. My sister was telling me about Malay girls in a club. And I told her, it's like, damn, I've been hanging out at the wrong clubs. I have never seen Malay girls at the club. Although maybe if I did, I might have thought they were Filipina. And then she asked, what about Indian girls? And I thought, well, maybe I just can't see them. Okay, that's not a race joke. That's not a racist joke. That's a joke about how my eyesight sucks. Or I'm supposed to wear glasses, but fuck that. I can't get my groove on with glasses. Come on, man. Yeah, race is a touchy topic, you know? In Singapore, it's not so bad. In America, ooh, that's a whole nother can of worms. Okay? It's really touchy over there. I went to Wendy's, and I got my food from the cashier. Pretty lady, curly hair, tan skin, sharp nose. She was wearing a name tag. I like to thank people by name, if I can. So I looked at her name tag, and that's when I had a little dilemma. Because her name started with N, followed by E-G-A-R. N-E-G-A-R. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. I didn't want to take the risk. So I awkwardly said, thank you, you. And eventually I looked it up. And it's pronounced Nagar, and it's Persian for lover. I'm confident saying that here, but I don't want to be saying that in the US. You know, you say Nagar, it's perfectly okay. You say knee, now you got a problem. Alright? And I'm so glad I didn't, because a few years later, during COVID, there was this incident at Macy's. You know, that's like a department store. I think it's something like Uniqlo. And everyone was wearing masks at the time. And this guy, this employee, he was trying to do his best, you know? Trying to get the Employee of the Month plaque on the wall. So he was trying to do the best service he could. And all of a sudden, this big black man walks in. He tries on a shirt. Naturally, he's a big guy. Shirt's too small. And the employee, earnest and trying to do the best job he can, walks up to him and said, "Can I get you something bigger?" Unfortunately, he was wearing a mask at the time. And you know how the mask kind of muffles how you speak? And people can only understand you if you enunciate, like Bane from The Dark Knight. Most people aren't going to enunciate, you know? You're just going to talk like that, and you can't understand what they're talking about. Instead of saying, "Can I get you something bigger?" what the black guy heard was, "Can I get you something bigger?" And the black guy was like shocked, and he's just pummeling the shit out of him. And meanwhile, the employee's like, what did I do? I was just trying to help. I just wanted to know if you wanted something bigger. And probably at this moment, he could hear the Killer song. How could it end up like this? That's a classic Britpop song. But from what I've heard, most people here like K-pop. Especially girls, right? I don't see a lot of guys who like K-pop, but girls, you guys go crazy for it. And I got a theory as to why girls like K-pop. Right? The word you in Korean, you know, is basically the N-word. And my theory is that you people just want an excuse to say it. You think I don't see you? I see you. That's the loophole. You naughty naughty. You teasing me, are you? Yeah. Wedding Dress by Taeyang. I'm not going to sing it out loud, but you can Google it. Yeah, women are funny, dude. It's either you can't live with them or you can't live without them. You know, and to tell you the truth, they are part of the reason why I got into stand-up. This guy, Pete Davidson. Anybody know who that is? He's a guy who's fucking killing it in Hollywood in terms of dating. He's dating the baddest bitches. Alright? Dude is the definition of me and the bad bitch I pulled for being funny. He dated Ariana Grande. And say what you will about Ariana Grande, but I like her. You know why? It's not because of her voice. It's not because of her looks. I like her because she's real. You know, she had this one song, God is a Woman. And I'm like, yes, I'm with you on that. And you know why? Well, did you ever hear the story of Abraham? For those who don't know, I'm paraphrasing here. You know, okay, Father in heaven, I'm just joking. First line in my holy book is God is most gracious, most merciful. I'm going with that. So I'm going to hope that you forgive me for these jokes, all right? So the story of Abraham goes as follows. One fine day, God asked Abraham, do you love me? Now just there, does that sound like a question a man would ask or a woman would ask? It gets worse. Oh, it gets worse. And Abe says, yes, of course. And God says, how much? And Abe's like, this is before the metric system, right? So he stretches out his arms. This much. More than anything? Yes, more than anything. Anyone. I love you the most. More than your son? Yes. I have a favor to ask. And spoilers for those who don't know. But God told Abraham to sacrifice his son to prove his love. Dude, this is like, would you love me if I was a worm, but on steroids? And thankfully, it was just a test. He didn't actually have to kill his son. You know, God just swapped him out for a ram at the last second. Got a sense of humor. You know, the best comedian is God, I always say. You've just been pranked! So the moral of the story is you just gotta show your woman you love him. Because if not... Yeah, so Ariana Grande, you're right. That song, that one song is completely spot on. I agree. You know, another example. You guys go on dating apps, right? And how many times do you get ghosted? You can get ghosted for hours, days, weeks, months. Guess how long God ghosted Moses? 40 years! 40 years he's wandering around the desert like, hey, are you there? No reply. You know, I was replying a lot when he was a burning bush, but after that, no reply. Nothing. Look, don't fact check me on this, alright? I'm not the most religious guy, obviously. I read the first line of my Quran, and I stopped there. God is most gracious, most merciful. That's it. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Oh, God. What do you do for 40 years in a desert? You know, there's no McDonald's over there. You know, there's no fast food joints. Fast food is amazing, by the way. You know why they call it fast food? is because you're on a fast track to the grave. Yeah, in America, they have this chain called Jack in a Box. What do you think that means, Jack in a Box? You keep eating that shit, you become Jack, and the box is going to be your coffin. You know, at Jack in the Box, it's not like you just have your standard burger, fries, and drink. I got a meal from Jack in a Box, and the lady asks, "Would you like some butter sauce?" I was like, well, I wasn't gonna, but since you asked, how can I say no? And then she asked, "Okay, would you like to change your drink to a milkshake?" Like, lady, you're killing me. But yes, I would like to change my drink into a milkshake. How can I say no? How can any mere mortal man resist the temptation? So I got all of that good shit, and walking home was like the longest walk I ever had to endure. Right? It was like the walk of shame. Instead of holding up high heels, I'm holding my gut, just spilling over my belt. And the food was so good, I was just moaning. You know, I'm moaning all the way like, oh, so good. Oh. Like I'm some degenerate watching some 18-plus Sydney Sweeney in Euphoria. She's covered in whipped cream. And I'd be moaning for the whipped cream. Fuck Sydney. Dude, eating all that shit's like being in heaven. But with consequences. And I'm not ready for that, right? I don't have the self-discipline. And if you top it all off, weed is legal there too. And what does weed do? It makes you lazy. It makes you not want to move around. And it gives you the munchies. You can down an entire jumbo bag of potato chips in one sitting. Dude, it's temptation country over there. I can't go back. Alright, maybe I can go back for like a week, but if I spend like more than 3 months there, I'm fucked. I'm not making it back, dude. I'm not making it back. I don't want to die. Yeah, but you gotta have self-discipline. Alright? No matter where you are, you gotta have self-discipline. Sometimes I go to a place that's kind of scary. Got dark corridors. It's like playing Left 4 Dead or Counter-Strike, you know? I feel like I'm gonna get jumped. Some meth head's gonna pop out and go stabby, stabby. But at least stabbing is better than getting shot. You can run away from a knife, but you can't outrun a gun. You know, as soon as I turn my heel, I'm already Swiss cheese. I got so many holes in my body, I qualify to enter in women's sports. You don't need a chromosome test. You got more than 3 holes. You're good to go. You're a biological woman. Get out there and make your dreams come true. Yeah, but you gotta control yourself, right? Yeah. Especially if you got guns in the country. Thankfully, we don't have them here. You know, I don't want them here. I know they're fun, right? We all used to play with guns when we were young. Pew, pew, pew. Have you ever tried cleaning one? It sucks. It's such a hassle. You know, if I'm gonna be spending hours doing this, I'd rather be doing something else. This is kind of obscene. Now, I can't be doing this and making eye contact with anyone. No, I don't want to give anyone the wrong idea. Like, I'm the kind of guy who eats a banana with a knife. Okay, I bite my ice cream. It doesn't taste better. Just, I don't want to give you the illusion of which I just did. So that's kind of a contradiction. See, I can't help myself. Alright, but you know what? Get back to guns. Don't get me wrong. If this was a country where they're illegal, you bet your ass I'd get one. Alright, as much as I don't trust myself with a gun, I really don't trust people around me even more. Now, I thought I didn't trust myself with a gun, but I might have to start trusting myself. You know, start going to therapy, listen to some motivational songs. I'm just Ken and I'm enough, and I'm great at doing stuff. So hey, it won't blow out my brains, 'cause I'm just Ken. Now, in the meantime, whatever it is, guns or no guns, just gotta try not to get in fights with people. I tell you, it's tough sometimes, though. It's tough, it's real tough. Like just the other day, it's a weekend, I'm not in a rush, so I just stood on the escalator. I didn't walk up like I usually do. And like a good boy, I moved to the side. And then I felt a poke on my backpack. I turned around and I just side-eyed this big fat British lady. Now you're saying, Faizal, come on, that's not fair. You shouldn't insult someone like that. Why would you call her British? There's a reason for it, alright? I found out she was later. Later, I'm getting to it. So I turned back around, got off the escalator, and I walked to the train. Again, not in a rush. Train wasn't going anywhere soon. Doors weren't beeping. The lights weren't flashing. There's plenty of space around me. Wasn't crowded at all. And still, somehow, while walking, I felt someone stepping on my heels. Not once. Not twice. But 3 times. So at this point, I'm like, what the fuck? And she said very loudly and clearly, "Wanker!" See, that's how I knew she was British. Nobody says wanker here. Yeah, I was stunned. I didn't expect that. And I gotta admit, I'm a little thankful that my reaction time is really slow. Because before I could even react, my feet were already on autopilot. I was just already walking away to another carriage. But when I sat down, after a while, I digested what happened. And I started getting angrier. It's like, wait, what the fuck just happened? Why'd I let her do that to me? I had half a mind to get back there and give her a piece of my mind. But thankfully, the other half said, no, calm down. You don't want to end up on Mothership or Stomp or some other tabloid, okay? I want to make a name for myself. I want to do stand-up. I want to do, fucking media shit. I can't be involved in these kind of controversies. So I didn't do anything. But man, I wish I did. Can I share with you guys what I wish I had done? My first thought was, oh, you like kicking, huh? How about I kick you back, see how you like it, huh? And then I thought, no, you're a man. You open the doors. You pee standing up. You use the same towel for your face, hair, and balls. Stereotypes exist for a reason. We all have our gender roles. And as a man, you can't ever hit a woman. Okay? You're a man. I am a man. Man. Right? So I needed to find another way to win this thing. In my head, hypothetically. Because I'm still heated. What if this happens again? How am I going to react? I thought of fighting her with her own accent, Oh, I'm British, look at me, a cup of tea. So I thought I was going to go, excuse me, you dare? Where did you come from? You want to slap? You come to Singapore, you behave yourself. I started freestyling. I challenge you to a duel, a fisticuffs. Good sir. Okay, you see, now I'm misgendering her. I'm gonna end up in trouble. So yeah, not a great plan either. I'm gonna say something I regret. I told my sister about this. You know what? She gave me the best advice I could think of. She said I could do the exact same thing I actually did in real life with just one tiny adjustment. Redo the whole scenario. Walk, walk, walk. Kick, kick, kick. Turn around. And instead of going, what the fuck? Just adjust my face a little bit. And I go, what the fuck? Why you hit me? Why? I do T-Rex arms. Why you hitting me? And I can just imagine this lady going, oh, I'm terribly sorry. I didn't realize you were mentally challenged. I best be on my way now. I know I'd be making a fool of myself. I know I'd be making a scene. I know I'm culturally appropriating retards. But if there's a sliver of a conscience in that miserable old bag, she would feel bad. And you know what? Maybe she'll think twice before kicking random people at the train station. I'm not trying to be some great moral arbiter here, okay? I'm just trying not to get kicked. And I hope none of you guys ever have an encounter like this. But if you do, well, you know what to do. Just... Why you hit me? Why? Why you hit me? Huh? Oh, God. You know, I see people like this in public, you know. I feel bad for them, right? They didn't choose this life. This life chose them, you know. I'm sure they'd love to talk normally. I'm sure they'd like to have a, like, serious face. I'm sure they have, like, deep thoughts, but they just can't express it because even if they have a deep thought, they're just gonna express it like that. But you know what? As sad as it is, I have my doubts. There's a part of me, there's some fucked up part in my brain that thinks, these guys are faking it. You know? Because why is it you only ever see one of them at one time? I've never in my whole 33 years of living seen two at the same place. And one of these days, you know, if life pushes me enough, I'm gonna try it. You know? I'm just gonna see somebody, you know, a little bit off. I'm gonna try acting a little bit off too. I'll see what happens. For science, okay? I'm a scientist. It's like a game of chicken. And I'm gonna see who breaks character first. Because my theory is like, at least half of them are faking. Right? That's why we never see two. You know? If there ever are two, you know, one would chicken out. One would like, alright, you're gonna be the retard today. I'm gonna sit this one out. You know? Or maybe they just have like some wireless connection, you know? If two mentally handicapped people ever got close enough, there'd be like some wireless connection.
The Bluetooth device is connected successfully.
I know this is kind of offensive, alright? I'm sorry. It's just stuff that I find funny. Recently, there's been a lot of discourse online. Greatest debate I heard is man versus bear. And this is how it goes. Ladies, if you're stuck in a forest, alone, would you rather run into a man or a bear? That's the question. And there's been so much argument about this. You know, what would you guys choose? You know what? If it was me, I choose the bear. That's right, ladies, I'm with you. Yeah, high fives all around. I choose the bear. The guy's dangerous. You never know what the guy's gonna do, but you know what the bear's gonna do, right? The guy is like more of a threat to you, because guys are capable of horrible, horrible shit. But from my point of view, I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do with a guy? Alright, I'm in the woods. Who is this guy? Is he Bear Grylls or Steve Irwin? Is he some camp counselor? Is he someone who even knows how to survive? Or is he just gonna drag me down with him? Is he somebody who's gonna freak out and make a lot of noise, and then an actual bear comes along and we're both fucked? Even if he's not a threat, what the fuck am I gonna do with a guy? Sit around? I'm not really in a sharing mood, to be honest. Hey, what's going on? Stuck in the forest? Yeah, same. Cool. Cool. You wanna get out of here? Tried. Didn't work. Yeah, yep. Me too. Got any food? No. See, with a bear, I could eat it. I could use its fur to keep warm. You know, I could use its teeth to make tools. I could do all of that and be hailed a hero if I come back. I get a book deal. Probably a movie based on my experience and make me look like a badass. If it was a guy I killed for food, I'd get hanged. Dude, the movie about me would be some Netflix documentary where half my face is normal, and the other half is all fucked up and disheveled. You know, he was normal.
Until he wasn't.
Not that I even want to eat a guy, you know? That's kinda gay. Nothing wrong with that. It's just not for me. But seriously, I don't want to kill a guy. Even if he was a threat, even if it's self-defense. Why would I want to kill a guy? I can't wear his skin. It'd do me no good. His bones would just be too small, full of microplastics. It'd be blunt. It'd be like stabbing something with a knife from McDonald's. Just practically, it wouldn't make sense. God knows with my luck, even if the guy sacrificed himself, you know? And I'm about to eat his body in his honor, a park ranger would just pull up and see me chopping him up. What you doing there, boy? Nothing. You know, I go to jail. I become a prison bitch. I get my asshole resized. Which is the fear that ladies have when you meet a guy in the forest, right? So ladies, I'm with you. Men are scary. I don't want to go to a place full of men. I don't want to go to jail. So I choose the bear. If I have a gun or some way to kill it. I understand a man is dangerous, but a bear is way more dangerous. I'm not an idiot, alright? I am maybe a little bit too self-confident that I can kill a bear if I really put my heart into it. One of the best counter-arguments I've heard to the man versus bear question is this. Ladies, you got your question, right? You got your hypothetical. Now, guys, here's a hypothetical for you. Would you rather confide your problems to a woman or a tree? Before you answer, all right? I'm gonna 3, 2, 1. You shout your answer, okay? 3, 2, 1. That's right, a tree. A tree's not gonna judge you. A tree's not gonna think, "Oh, you're weak. Oh, you're not a real man." A tree's not gonna falsely accuse me of anything inappropriate. A tree's not gonna falsely me too me. Alright, if R. Kelly peed on a tree, you wouldn't hear about it. Funnily enough, I did pee on a tree once, okay? I should clarify, alright? I was a wee lad, about 6 years old, and I had to pee really bad. But I was in a public park, there wasn't a toilet nearby, and my mom brought me to a tree. And before I relieved myself, she told me to say sorry to Mr. Tree. I gotta pee on you, alright? I don't wanna, but I gotta do it. And the tree just took it. It liked it. You know? The sicko tree. Freaky ass tree. They didn't draw that chapter in the Shel Silverstein book, huh? The giving tree? More like the receiving tree. Yeah, I'm used to talking to trees, okay? The funniest thing about that hypothetical, one where you'd rather confide your problems to a tree versus a woman, is that in the army, that's how sergeants would fuck with recruits. The hierarchy is set in a way that as a recruit, you're just a slave. You're a dog, alright? You gotta do whatever they say. Anything. Imagine this. You're in a field. You've been out in the jungle all day. You're tired. You got 5 kilos of gear on your head. You're starting to nod off. All of a sudden, you hear, "Oi! You wanna sleep, ah?" You run over to that tree. You come back. Go, now! So you're groggy. You pick up all your shit, run over, touch the tree, run back. Then you wait for the sergeant to let you sit back down. And instead, he asks, "So what did the tree say?" In your head, you're still tired. But you still have enough cognitive ability to realize that, wait a second, trees don't talk. Right? No, they don't talk. So you, being the naive fuck you are, say, "It didn't say anything." And the sergeant goes, "Oh, never say anything. Okay. You run over, you ask it again." And you're like, you can't argue at this point. You just run over. And while at the tree, you want to act a bit, You can't just go over for a second and come back. So you pretend you're talking to it. In your head, fully aware of how much bullshit this is. But you're thinking, he's expecting an answer. I gotta come up with something. So you come back. And then the sergeant asks the same question. "So what did the tree say?" Then you say, the tree says I can sit back down." "You sure? Ask again." Oh, fuck, man. So you run over back to the tree, and you have another fake conversation. And this goes on and on until it's time to go. Yeah, it's torture, dude. It's like mental torture. The physical stuff isn't so bad. It's just like, I think they can't physically torture you anymore, so they have to mentally torture you. Which, I would say, given the two, I'd prefer the mental torture. Physical torture is way worse. And you know who inflicts the most torture out of any creature I've ever seen? Cats! They're so cute. Oh, you're so cute. But they're evil! Dude, they're horrible. Have you seen cats, playing with an insect? They don't even eat the insect, dude. They just fuck with it and leave it to die after it's crippled and mangled and fucked up. There's this one time my cat, he dragged in one of those huge moths, like the size of a palm. I was just doing work in my room, and I hear a, like, soft clapping sounds. Like, what the hell is going on? Who's giving me an applause? I'm not even doing stand-up here. I go outside and I see this fucked up moth. It's like got half its wings ripped off. It looks like Swiss cheese. It's just trying to get up. It's just flapping all over the ground like a floppy fish. And my cat's just sitting there like, yeah, you see what I did? Yeah, man, I'm a badass. Yeah, look at that. I did that. That's me. I did that shit. You like it, man? I did that for you. I brought you some food home. Yeah, so my cat fucked this moth up. And I'm just like, oh god, this is horrible. But obviously I'm not going to bring this moth to a vet. I'm not going to stitch its little wings back together and nurse it back to health. The most merciful thing I could do to him is put it out of its misery, right? Just end its pain. So I just took some newspaper, rolled it up, and I wanted to just smash it in one clean hit, right? But it's a big moth, and I've never smashed an insect that big before. So unfortunately, it took a couple of hits. Right, I'm just smashing this poor thing going, I'm sorry. And the cat's like, huh, I guess he likes smashing insects too. Now, I brought that moth for you to eat, but I guess you tenderizing it. The cat was probably thinking, this is bonding. I'm gonna do this more often. Which is why I found it so hilarious that I was buying cat food one day. And this sweet little Muslim girl, wearing a tudung and stuff, she was asking the receptionist, do you have any halal cat food? The whole point of things being halal is that you do a nice clean cut to the throat and the animal dies like in the least painful way as possible. Do you really think the cat cares about the thing being killed in a very humane way? No, the cat doesn't give a fuck. I got living proof that cats don't give a fuck. Matter of fact, the more painful the thing dies, I bet the cat finds it tastier. They're evil! But I love them. I'm compromised, alright? They got toxoplasmosis. It's when they got this virus that makes people love them. And it works on rats too. So rats would love cats. And they'd get close to cats. And then the cats would fucking eat the rats. And I know one day I'm gonna feed my cat too. If I die earlier, I'm gonna be cat food. Yeah, but you know what? At least I'd be going out doing something good. We all gotta die sometime. Right? Especially as a stand-up comedian. Like last year, we got a target on our back now, alright? Doing this shit is dangerous. Like last year, it was Chris Rock getting slapped by Will Smith. And that was bad enough. This year, just recently, my favorite stand-up comedian of all time almost got shot on live TV.
They tried to kill me. They couldn't do it.
I'm talking about Donnie Boy, Donnie J.
Trumpy almost go bye-bye.
Say what you will about his politics, alright? I don't have a good opinion about his politics. But he is a fantastic stand-up comedian. Okay? You can't deny that he makes people laugh, whether it's at him or with him. Look, I don't even think of him as a politician. Like, that's his third thing, alright? Above the politician, he's a stand-up comedian. And above that, he's a businessman. And I tell you why. Because the moment he got shot, any sane person would get the fuck out of there as fast as they could. Not this guy. And you know what he did? He said, hold on, wait a second. And he put his fucking fist in the air. Dude almost got shot and he decided to strike a pose. Like he's some anime protagonist. Like he's Freddie Mercury at Live Aid. Because he knows this is gonna be a meme. Dude, he knows this image is gonna go viral. He knows people are gonna take this photo and he's gonna look like a badass, and they're gonna sell merch, they're gonna sell this shit on t-shirts. His picture's gonna go down in the history books. He knows that shit. Okay, how many people are gonna come dressed up as him this Halloween? He's gonna be the new Harley Quinn. In 2016, every girl was dressed up as Harley Quinn, alright? He's gonna be the 2024 version of that. You know what? If I was that close to death, I would have done something crazy too. Well, probably wouldn't be so marketable. Alright, you know what I would do? I would fucking unzip my pants and whip out my cock. And I tell you why, it's because I'm this close to death. Alright? This is a fucking huge moment. Dude, I almost got cancelled from life. Okay? At this point, I'm not gonna care. This is symbolic. If I'm going out with a bang. I did it my way. My cock will be doing the trumpet solo. Dude, the bullet missed his head by a centimeter.
Hey, what's this clown talking about? What the fuck's a centimeter?
That's like half an inch for you Americans, okay? You gotta admit, that shit was crazy. I'm not the most religious guy, as evidenced by my prior jokes, but I believe that was an act of God. You know, you can't deny there's someone up there. You know, God's got a lot of things to do. He's probably got a busy night. You know? He's probably got a lot of things on his watch later playlist. Hundreds of videos queued up. But he took the time out of his busy day to look at this incident and say,
I'm just gonna make this orange motherfucker turn his head. Just a little bit. So he doesn't get his brains blown out in front of the goddamn world.
the only way this wouldn't have been an act of God if the bullet missed a potential president is if it was Kamala. Because, you know, Kamala's Indian, right? So she'd be shaking her head like, the bullet would just not know where to go.